We are monitoring a storm threat on 4 Live radar. So far, most of us are dry, but that could change in a hurry. We'll show you the latest.
Also first at 4, deadly plane crash. Investigators are trying to figure out what went wrong. We've been checking with the FAA. We'll have the latest in a live report. Breaking news, Detroit police are looking for this 16-year-old after he was able to escape police custody. Paula.
In Michigan, someone around you stands a better chance of dying because the people around them do not know how to do this properly. I'll show you 2 kids who want to change that statistic.
Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News First at 4 starts now.
Good afternoon, I'm Karen Drew. We start with this small plane that went down near the runway at the Livingston County Airport. It happened just before noon, and since then, we've learned 2 people died in the crash. Jason Colthorpe live this afternoon in Livingston County. Jason, are you hearing from investigators, and how did this happen?
Yeah, the FAA, Karen, has the investigators have come and gone, and they believe that this was an aeronautical stall, most likely on takeoff here at the airport. And as you can see behind me, it's just the plane. And what I can tell you is the plane's going to remain there until tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. when the NTSB gets out here and takes over the investigation from there. Let's talk a little bit about the 2 men that were inside this plane when it went down, and they ultimately were killed by this. One man it's believed one of the men was working on the plane. He was the pilot. He had just finished the yearly inspection and was taking it out for a test flight with another man who was with the company that owns the plane. The plane's registered to a company in the United Kingdom, and it's also a plane that was built in 1966, an Aero Commander. The pilot he owns a business right here at the airport, an aviation service company, and does this regularly. Teaches classes, is a pilot, is a mechanic, works on several planes. Several people have stopped by here since we've been here, pilots themselves, to talk about him. In fact, we talked to one pilot who heard the takeoff and had this take about what happened next.
And I heard a plane take off, and I live right around the corner here, so it's a common occurrence. And then it just went quiet, which was kind of unusual, but I didn't really think too much of it because maybe he turned the other direction. And then I came over to get some gas at the 7-Eleven, and a woman there told me she saw the plane actually wobble in the air and then crash nose first into the ground.
Yeah, we don't want to name the person who was the pilot yet. We haven't heard officially from police, and we also don't want to break any news to family members who may not have gotten the news just yet, but we'll do that as soon as it is official. Again, the plane will remain here until tomorrow morning. NTSB will be back on scene to pick up the investigation. For now, we're live in Howell Township. Karen, back to you.
All right, thank you, Jason. We'll check back with you tonight at 5. We do have breaking news in Detroit right now. 16-year-old Chaz Taylor from Muskegon, who came to town to see a girl, is on the run. He was in custody for a concealed carry violation and resisting arrest, but he ran away from the 10th precinct. Taylor was able to move his handcuffed wrists from the back to the front. Police searched a vacant home he was seen breaking into, but he was already gone. The boy's mother is making a desperate plea right now for him to give himself up. Now, we're following the story very closely. We'll have a live update tonight at 5. Chance for scattered storms is on the rise over the next few hours, so let's check in with Ben Bailey. Ben, what kind of impact will we see on tonight's outside activities?
Well, Karen, some of us are going to get strong thunderstorms, but not everybody's going to see these. Here's 4 Live radar. We were clean until just about 15 minutes or so ago, and then we're starting to see some showers develop here in the south zone. These will likely intensify. In fact, when you look just south of the state line, there's a pretty good cell moving into Lucas County there just west of Toledo. So we're going to continue to monitor that. We don't have any watches or warnings out right now, but at least the southern half of the area and then some is under a severe risk. So we do expect that the strongest stuff is likely going to be in our south zone. That's where we have a focus on. We'll keep an eye on that, show you how long the risk lasts, and also when we'll finally see some relief from this humidity. All coming up, Karen.
Southwest Detroit family still in shock following the heartbreaking death of 9-year-old Emma Hernandez after she was attacked by 3 dogs. Teddy bears, flowers, and candles are piling up near the spot where Emma was attacked. Police say she was riding her bike yesterday in an alley near Central Avenue and Smart Street when the 3 pit bulls got through a fence and killed her. Emma's family is still trying to process how this happened.
She was a very, very happy child, and she's going to be very, very missed. It's just something that shouldn't have happened. They should have been more careful with their dogs. It just can't be real. Like, things like this are easily avoided. Why can't people take proper measure to take care of their pets?
The dog's owner has been arrested, charges pending. There is a GoFundMe page for Emma's family. You can find that link at clickondetroit.com. Right now, a jury is deliberating the fate of former MSU basketball star Macomb Cleaves. He's accused of rape. His former coach, MSU's Tom Izzo, was in the courtroom for closing arguments this morning. Cleaves is charged with assaulting a woman after a charity golf event in the Flint area back in 2015. At one point, a judge dismissed charges against Cleaves, but that decision was overturned. If convicted, Cleaves could face up to 15 years in prison. We'll let you know when a verdict comes in. Investigators are digging for a second day in a row in Macomb Township this afternoon, and so far they have not shared any details on any possible discoveries. Several agencies started their search near the Clinton River south of 23 Mile yesterday, and that's near where convicted killer Arthur Ream led police to Cindy Zarzicki's body back in 2008. Police believe Ream may be involved in up to 6 other missing person cases, and more bodies may be buried in that area. Now, we do have a crew on the scene, and we'll have an update at 5 o'clock about how long the search might continue. All right, now how about something a little more inspiring? You are about to see how 2 teenagers are trying to change some depressing numbers when it comes to surviving sudden cardiac arrest. We've talked about one of these teens before. He seems to be a serial do-gooder. Paula Tutman takes us to an important CPR class where teachers are doing all the learning.
You know what this is, right? It's CPR. But raise your hand if you know how to do this properly. So I heard an interesting statistic. This is hard. I heard an interesting statistic today, and that is that Michigan right now is below the national average of people who can survive cardiac arrest because so few people are actually getting this training. Okay, I have 2 green lights, because when I have 2 green lights, there it is. I'm doing it correctly.
Red is bad, amber is green, but green is what you're looking for. Green is good.
The overall survival rate of someone who suffers cardiac arrest in Michigan outside a hospital with good function and without brain damage is 6.9%. The national average, not much better, at only 8.2%. That statistic from CARES, or the Cardiac Arrest Registry to Enhance Survival.
That was only 2 sets, all right? 5 sets is 2 minutes of CPR.
The grown-ups know the stats.
Good job, guys. You got this.
But it's these kids who are actually doing something about it.
There you go. How's that feel? Excellent.
If Wyatt Lucas looks familiar, it's because we met him when he was a lot shorter and wasn't sporting a budding mustache. He's the owl kid, the young man who saw owls were in need of help, and so he raised money for a sanctuary in Troy. This year, he turned his attention to humans.
So, squeeze it down there.
Wyatt and his sister Tessa actually raised money needed.
We got sponsors by going to random businesses
To recertify 200 Clausen instructors.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, flip over like a pancake.
I don't ever want to have a situation where I'm questioning at the moment if I'm going to do it right.
Kid's not breathing, so I can do my compressions.
And it's still scary, but you're trained.
And what shocks these caring kids is what they perceive as those who simply don't care.
Probably because people are worried they're going to do it not on someone they know, and they're worried about locking lips with a random stranger. When the actual, like 88% of cardiac arrests happen at home. So you're most likely going to do it on someone you know.
You're going to pinch your nose, you're going to take your mouth and seal, and you're going to blow.
The fact of the matter is Michigan's Good Samaritan laws protect you if you act in good faith but make a mistake. And while chest compressions in conjunction with mouth-to-mouth resuscitation gives the best chance of survival, even just hands-on compressions increases the chances someone will survive cardiac arrest until EMS can get there. So today, 200 teachers learned a little something from 2 kids.
We are so grateful that you guys are able to come out. Thank you guys so much. It means a lot.
The question is, who else is willing to learn? Paula Tutman, Local 4.
Oh, first he saved owls, now he's helping to save lives. So what's next for Wyatt? Well, he's trying to become an Eagle Scout. I have a hunch he'll make it. This just in, we're following some breaking news near Belle Isle right now. Michigan State Police have shut down the MacArthur Bridge, and they're investigating a possible shooting in the area. You are looking at live pictures right there. You can see the MSP's trooper car. Other cars are being told to turn around. And we do have a crew at the scene, as you can tell, and we will bring you a live report as soon as we know more information. But I can tell you right now, since it is shut down, that means no one can get off the island if they're on it, and obviously no one can get on, which will likely increase the intensity of the situation. Again, Michigan State Police shutting down Belle Isle's MacArthur Bridge to investigate a possible shooting. This is a breaking news situation, and we'll closely follow this minute by minute and let you know exactly what's going on over there. Still ahead, remember when female athletes blasted Nike for an unfair maternity policy? Today, the sports apparel company making another change. Also ahead, a scary attempted kidnapping case, how a teen girl was saved, and it's another reminder to know who your children are talking to online. We'll be right back.